Hi, Star Surfer here with the monthly tarot and astrology reading for June 2023 for my Scorpios. Last but certainly not least for the month. How are you doing? This is for my Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. How are you doing? I'll be upfront, I'll be real with you. I tried to record this once. I got like a significant way of the way in it and I could not get you. I couldn't get your energy. You're an enigma, we know this, wrapped in a mystery, packaged in like a conundrum. That is the Scorpio dynamic. But it was just not vibing. I feel now much more of an openness. So here we are. Let's talk about your astrology, shall we? Let's start off with, as I record this, Cancer season has just begun a few days ago. If you are a Scorpio rising, and Scorpio is your first house, if you look at your birth chart and you see Scorpio in the first house, that means that Cancer is your ninth house. Now, every house in our chart is associated with a specific area of our life. The ninth house is associated with travel, long distance travel, learning, adventure, philosophy. With the sun here for you for the next month until like the end of July, this is the time for you to go on an adventure. And what better time if you're in the Northern Hemisphere to go on an adventure than summer? It's like something is in the cultural bones that this is the time we like set off on the road. We go out and explore. And my read on that for you is that whatever physical journey you go on will have an echo in your emotional and spiritual world. If there is a destination calling to you, know it is for a reason. It is because your soul can grow in a specific way, experience or accomplish something in that journey at that place that will have ramifications beyond just physical distance and travel, right? Beyond the movement of the vessel, the body, there will be a movement of the heart and soul. So follow whatever longings, whatever urgings are calling to you to travel and move. The bigger the better, right? Because it will have a ripple effect for you. Now, Leo energy in the sky is very heavy right now. I know you are a Scorpio, but we have every sign of the zodiac in some area of our chart, right? It's just how it works. If you are a Scorpio rising, Leo is your 10th house of career and public-facing life. Now, Venus, the planet of love, connection, values, finance, romance, creativity, is in Leo. The divine feminine energy is in Leo, in your 10th house of career. Mars, the planet of drive and aggression, of determination, of strength, of conflict and war, the divine masculine, is also in Leo, in your 10th house of career. Scorpio, you're an ambitious motherfucker, just by nature, by birth. Pluto is the ruling planet of Scorpio. Pluto is the planet of immense nuclear level power, right? Pluto literally rules nuclear explosions. Like, this is the kind of power we're talking about, the power to shred an atom. That, I literally cannot comprehend that level of power, but you hold it within you. And with Leo in the 10th house, Leo, the energy of like the performer, the shiner, the one who takes the stage and like wows an audience in your house of public-facing life, like ambition suits you. Ambition suits you. This is a time when you can come into alignment with your ambition and see immense rewards from it. Love your work and your work will love you back. Hate your work and you get the same, right? It is an equation here of reciprocity. You get in what you get out what you put in, right? The emotion or mentality with which you attack your career, and attack is a great word for it, my Scorpios. The emotion and mentality with which you attack your career will be mirrored back to you by the results you get. So approach it with love and ambition and you will get rewards. I will say that in this season of your life, my Scorpios, and really always, but especially now, any accomplishments you achieve will demand release. You will have to give up something to gain something. This is the reciprocity, this is the equation, this is the balance the universe is seeking. If you want to gain, and I have a feeling you want to gain a lot right now, you will have to give up just as much. But it will be worthwhile, right? You will see a result. You will get a reward. My neighbors are playing in their band, like on the sidewalk outside. So if you hear any music, like that's what it is. I live in New Orleans. Like, what do you expect? I love it here. Come visit if you haven't. I can give you a read in person. Validate your progress, because you are absolutely making progress, but you can be very hard on yourself because you want to achieve immense success, right? But validate whatever you've achieved up to this point and whatever you're achieving as we speak, because I can guarantee you are achieving. But what did I say? We get out what we put in. If we put in appreciation and gratitude, we get reward. If we're dejected, disheartened, right? Upset, we won't get the reward. If we're not willing to give up something, and I'm suggesting you give up that dejectedness, that disappointment, that you can get caught up in. If you're not willing to give that up, then you won't receive. Think of the equation as one of risk versus reward. High risk, high reward. How much reward do you want, right? If you don't want a lot, then don't risk anything. But I know you, Scorpio, you want a lot, so risk it all. This last piece that I'm going to speak about with you is, I feel, let me save that. One more thing before I get there. Pluto, as I said, is the planet that rules Scorpio. If you are a Scorpio rising, Pluto is your chart ruler. It is the most important planet for you in the sky. It has the most impact and influence on the way your life plays out, both in your natal chart and in the transit of Pluto through the current skies. Pluto has retrograded back into Capricorn. It had been in Capricorn from 2008 to March of this year, 15 years. Pluto orbits so slowly. Its impact is extended and extensive. And it finally, after 15 years, made it out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. But again, Pluto moves so slowly, and it appears to retrograde 6 months out of the year. There's a 50% chance if you observe Pluto in the sky, it will be moving backwards. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. Pluto got into Aquarius, moved so slowly for 3 months, made it to 1 degree of Aquarius, and now is retrograding. And guess what that means? Pluto's back in Capricorn now. Pluto's back. Pluto's back. We thought we were done with it, but it's back. Pluto, because it orbits so slowly, will never return to the same point in a person's chart or in the sky during a human lifetime. It's impossible. It takes 250 years for it to get back to the same place. No one lived that long. So Pluto lessons are learned once over an extended period of time, intensely, but then they're never touched again. With that information in mind, knowing Pluto is your ruler in modern astrology, and I feel it is much more applicable than I actually feel like Mars, your ancient astrological ruler, is also applicable, but Pluto is it. Your chart ruler is intense. It embodies the energy of death and resurrection, of cathartic transformation, of release and renewal, of power, wealth, purging, phoenix from the ashes type risings. So Pluto is retrograded back into Capricorn, where it was for 15 years. It gave us a little 3-month glimpse of Aquarius, where it will be for 20 years, starting in 2024. Give us a little teensy 3-month taste of a 20-year transit. But now it's back in Capricorn for its final moments here within our lifetimes, you and I. If you are a Scorpio rising, Capricorn is your third house, the house of communication, writing, our immediate environment, our day-to-day life. For me, this means you need to speak your power. Do not give it away. Own your day-to-day life. Don't be your own best advocate within your day-to-day interactions, your day-to-day doings. Like, speak your power, own your power, act your power. And then all of this Leo energy in your career house, like, show your power, right? Ambition suits you. Power becomes you. Okay, now on to the thing that I tabled for a second. But you have been having eclipses in your sign for the last year and a half. That's the way eclipses work, right? Because of like the orbit of the sun and moon around the ecliptic, around the sun, they always happen in the same signs, which are always directly opposite each other. But they always happen in the same two signs for like a year and a half, and then they'll switch, and they'll happen in the next two signs for a year and a half, and then they'll switch, and it goes on and on, but it's always the same two signs for a year and a half. You are on the tail end of the Scorpio eclipse year and a half. It'll take another 16-ish years for it to come back. So there's a lot to be said about that. But let me acknowledge that I feel and I understand. I mean, I'm not a Scorpio, so I can only go off of how I feel about the Scorpio area of my chart and how I feel tuning into Scorpio clients and Scorpio friends is that, like, you can definitely hear that, can't you? They sound great. That's intense. That's intense. And that's distracting. But it is a south node eclipse, which means it is the part of the eclipse polarity that is the shedding. All of the eclipses that have been happening in Taurus, your opposite sign, are like the calling in, the movement towards. And all of the eclipses that have been happening in Scorpio, in your sign, is like the shedding and the movement away from. So for me, all of that knowledge taken together, and admittedly it is a lot, and there's so much more we could go into about having a south node eclipse in your sign. But what you no longer fits and must be shed, what skin is too tight for you to grow within. This is what the last year and a half has been making so clear to you. Probably not comfortably, right? Probably not easily, but certainly clearly, especially now that we're at the end of the Scorpio eclipses and we won't be back here for another 16 years, 14, 16 years, something like that. What is being shed within your own understanding of yourself? How is that having an effect in the way you own your power in your life, like, and show up in your relationships? Because your relationships, if the house of the self, Scorpio, is where the shedding is happening, as I said, the opposite polarity, the house of partnerships, and the other is where we're moving towards, what we're calling in. We're shedding an understanding of ourself that does not fit anymore, and we're calling in the people that suit this new you. Jupiter is in the same Taurus opposite sign right now. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and luck and fortune, is in the same house of partnerships for you if you are a Scorpio rising. The same place that all of these eclipses of calling in have been happening. Opposite your first house eclipses that have been a shedding kind of eclipse, a releasing kind of eclipse. There is an understanding of yourself that you are letting go of, a skin you are taking off, a coat that has become too tight, an identity that does not suit you. Once you shed this, you can expand, you can grow, and then you'll realize that the people you are calling into your life are not the kind of people you were calling in the past. They are more supportive, more generous, right? More deeply committed. To me, this means there can be no more lone wolf, enigmatic, unreadable Scorpio vibe, right? Because it's not going to get us the people we need. That is a part of the skin that we were being asked to shed throughout this Scorpio eclipse season. No more lone wolf, like vibe connected, Elevate the vibration of yourself so that those people can spot you and come to you. You can magnetize them. There is a way you act as a magnet. Scorpio energy is magnetic to people, right? What are you magnetizing? Is it something that the old you would want? The you that you've been shown is not who you're being called to be moving forward? Or is it something the current and future you want? Are you moving in the direction of your destiny? Or are you falling back into past habits, patterns, and limiting beliefs? Yeah? I feel like that's a good amount of astrology for you to go off of for the next little bit. Like I said, I know your sign reading was the latest. So your next month reading for July 2023 will be out much sooner, much more promptly at the beginning of the month. So we won't be talking. We won't be long. It won't be long. All right. Let's pull some cards for you, my Scorpios. Again, this is for my Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. That's a lot of people. A large span of energies that I'm tuning into. So take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. Be open to the possibility. Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck here. See what we get. That's so distracting. I'm definitely going to go listen to that after this. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. How do you feel? That's so distracting. Dear God. You feel like you're starting to peek yourself out from the shell, from under the rock, from down in the well. I think of Scorpio as like a well, deep, fixed, immovable water. You're starting to peek out from under that. The last time I tried to give this read, the lid was closed, we were withdrawn into the shell. There was none of that, but it feels like you're like some kind of storm has passed, possibly, and so now we're cautiously and timidly, slowly starting to peek our heads out. Any messages or insights for my Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? Wow. The two cards of the Divine Feminine. The Tiger, which I see as very High Priestess, and then the Deer, which I see as very Empress. You are in your watching mode. Look at those eyes. They have the target on lock, and they are not needing to do anything about it. They're just watching. I feel like you're in a moment of like, you're observing and taking in everything. Nothing is missing your awareness. And there's such immense power in this, right? There is such immense power in this. You don't even have to do anything, and the power is radiating off of you. It is shining from behind you. I mean, look at all of this solar energy, this sun, yellow, gold, fire energy behind the tiger, right? She's just watching, but like, if she decides to attack, when she decides to attack, when she decides to like expend her energy, you better watch the fuck out, because it's game over, right? She's conserving, she's observing, right? This I feel as a much less like preparing to attack kind of observation. This is like, what do I need to take care of? Who is there? Because here's the thing, Scorpio, you are a big old teddy bear, right? For the people you love, oh my God. The Scorpios in my life are like, I mean, they're like firm, but oh my God, they're teddy bears. They're so loving. Great cuddlers, right? Like, that's you. You might not want to admit it. You might want to be like, no, I have fire. But you are also such a nurturer. Great parents, Scorpios, if they've done their self-work and dealt with their own karma, their own childhood stuff. Great parents, because they are so loving, protective, nurturing. This feels like you are biding your time. You don't feel the need to make any move or prove anything to anyone, right? There can be a way in the past you might take action to prove your strength, but this is like the strength radiates without the action even needing to be taken. Power in stillness, right? Peace amidst chaos, perhaps. you're scanning the terrain, you're taking it all in, both so you know when to attack, right? When to unleash your ambition, your power, but also so you know who to take care of. Which of my babies needs the support? Like Mama Bear, Empress, right? Who needs the help? And how can I help myself? I'm not gonna waste this energy, and I don't feel the need to like force prove anything to anyone, but wow. Okay, let me go off these first. The crow and the owl, a lot of bird energy, very Mercury related, the planet of communication. There is a lot of communication happening here. Owl energy can represent like teacher or a sage. There's such wisdom here, but also owls can rotate their neck like all the way around. It's freaky to watch, but it's like they have a full perspective on the situation. Again, there's something you are just really taking in every aspect of with these three cards. Taking in every aspect of. Nothing is missing your eyes. Look at all of these eyes just like locked. Not doing anything, just seeing, just taking in, just scanning. I feel like, I'll say two things here. One, the crow. Crows are magic, associated with the magician card in the tarot. This deck associates that with like the magician. So there's something, you have the high priestess and you have the magician. You have the divine feminine and the divine masculine. You can both wait to see what action you need to take, but you can also take that action when it's time, right? Because if you have only action but no like wisdom, you're taking the wrong action. If you have only wisdom but no action, like you're getting nowhere. Like you need both pieces. You need both parts. It's much more heavy. I feel like you're saving the doing, the magician, the masculine, the action part of it, because this is so much heavier, which is like the receiving wisdom, intuition, taking in, scanning, right? Receiving, like inaction, reflection. This energy is, I mean, it's 3 versus 1, but I'm glad you have this, right? My only worry here as I look at what's fallen out so far is that the lizard is here. This is the empath overload card. This is, I am so frazzled, stressed, and overwhelmed by all of the energy that I can take in, right? I mean, have you ever seen, a deer can hear like someone break a branch like a mile away. They're that sensitive to their environment, right? All of these animal energies are just so sensitive, so empathic, so attuned, so caring and nurturing. But there can be a way that you can get overwhelmed in that. It can cause you to shut down because you're just picking up on so much. And if you get overwhelmed, Scorpio, I feel like I'm trying to yell over this band. I feel like if you get overwhelmed, you will take an action that is out of like panic to shut down the reception instead of discharging this energy, like protecting and shielding this kind of energy so that the action you take is aligned with this wisdom, right? Aligned with this knowing, and not just frantic, I need to get back in my shell, I need to dive back into the well, I need to pull the cover over, I need to shut this shit down, right? Part of me feels like this Empress energy that's like, who needs to be taken care of? You, because you're so sensitive, you see so much, you take in so much, right? So much. You're wise. It's making you so much like more savvy about the world and the way things work. You stand to teach people, to help people, to aid people. You could be a role model or an inspiration with this kind of energy, but don't get overwhelmed. Like, don't do too much too soon, or all at once. Like, take the time you need to make sure one of the people you've got in your watch is like your own self, your own emotional, and spiritual well-being. because you are on the verge, if you're not here already, of just getting completely overwhelmed. Completely overwhelmed. And then you're useless to yourself and everyone else. You have such power, but you also have such sensitivity, right? Care for yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Let's get you some tarot cards. This is the kind of person, let me say, like the magician, the crow, that knows how to, do like shielding and cleansing of energies and auras, of spaces. They know how to discharge so they don't get to this point. If this is a part of your learning curve, and this is the kind of student-teacher relationship that tells me it might be, good. If it's not yet, make sure it is. There are so many good resources about how to protect your energy so that you don't get to this point and just lash out of overwhelm or shut down completely. Right? So make sure that part of what you're learning and, including in your immense power, is shielding and cleansing. So many good resources. One more. Any other cards from my Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, North Node for the spread? Any other messages for my Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node for this spread? Any. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that fell out is the Three of Cups. I love this energy. Such joyful, celebratory, playful, jubilant energy. It's just three besties, three BFFs, just having a party. Like, this energy here can be very serious. It is like a mature energy. And with the owl, it's like there's something that can be very much like you are getting shit done. You are making sure all the kitties are playing in the pool safely. And you're not having fun on your own. But I feel like if you don't discharge and have fun, Scorpio, release the energy through fun and play, within limits, you'll get overwhelmed even more quickly. Go out and connect with your friends. It doesn't even need to be a huge party. It might just be one or two people. Scorpio, your internal world is carefully protected. And so it only needs to be one other person. But go out and connect with someone and have fun for yourself, so that this overwhelm doesn't get you down in the dumps, right? And acting out in a way you will regret, right? I have the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Swords in reverse. Be careful that the battles you're choosing to fight are the ones that are worth it. Right? Because you're certainly feeling up to a battle, but the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords upright is someone who has an idea and pursues it boldly, perhaps recklessly, but passionately. In reverse, it's you might not be so clear. The idea you have about the battle you're fighting might not be accurate, right? Especially if it's coming from this place of overwhelm, right? And this is what's triggering the battle, right? Because that's not actual, based off facts. It's based off of a feeling of overwhelm and anxiety. So make sure that you are doing this discharging, right? So that when you pick your battles, and this is someone who's very much capable of choosing a battle wisely. They're not going to fight any old battle. But this person, oh, they absolutely will fight every single battle, including the imaginary ones, right? So just Discharge, have fun, release, protect, so that the battles you choose to fight are the battles that are worth fighting. Okay? Wow. Okay, I'm going to do this in the order they fell out. The Moon, a card of the subconscious, the hidden, the shadowy, dreams. You might be getting a lot of information in dreams, but you're definitely going on like a spelunking expedition into like the depths of yourself. Again, it's like I said, like you are shedding a skin, you are letting go of something, and it's probably something you've like been denying or ignoring or trying to hide away from or run from for a long time. But I feel like the Two of Cups, I mean the card of like partnership, love, togetherness. I don't feel this is about a romantic partner for you right now, Scorpio. Friends are definitely a presence in your life, but this is not about a romantic partner. This is about the parts of yourself that you've denied for too long, like reclaiming them, coming into an agreement with both the part of yourself you've owned and the part of yourself you've denied, right? Like the ego and the id, for lack of a better word, but like you, without uniting these two things, if you continue to keep this shadowy aspect of your life shadowy or hidden or repressed or denied, like you won't be able to make chariot movement. You won't be able to move forward. In order to move forward, this was the last card that fell out, which tells me this is a process you have to go through first. You have to get in touch with your shadow. You have to love your shadow because it's you. You cannot keep denying it. You cannot keep ignoring it. You cannot keep hating it. You have to love, see, witness, behold, embrace all of yourself if you want to move forward. And you definitely want to move forward, right? But again, make sure you're doing it in the right way. You can only pick your battles wisely, one, if you are discharging energy, but more importantly, if you are doing it from a place of union, right? Of yourself and your shadow, right? Of all of you. When you look too, you'll be able to shed the parts of you that aren't helpful, that have been acting from like below the level of your awareness, have been exerting their influence and their force upon you, like influencing the direction your chariot like steers, like without you even knowing it or being aware of it because you buried it and you repressed it. But this is, no, we experience the union of self here, right? And then we can make forward progress, not move, and not move in a way that places us in conflict with ourselves and others, but like move really, move truly, move triumphantly. Overall, the Lover's in reverse. Do we see a similarity? Right? The Lover's upright, very Gemini card, but it is, again, that spiritual union of divine masculine, divine feminine, of anima and animus, of like the parts of you. Again, this is not about a romantic partner. It might be, echoing out in your external world in a partnership, but really it's about you and you. What have you denied, right? What have you repressed? How can you reclaim those parts of yourself? Love, see, witness, behold, embrace, bring to the light those parts of yourself so that you can move forward, right? You won't be able to experience right underneath that, the Ace of Cups in reverse, a new emotional birth, and right underneath that, the world, the learning of a lesson, right? Wisdom, completion of a cycle, closing of a loop. You are so freaking close here. You are so close here. Just make sure you're taking care of your energetic boundaries. Just make sure you're having fun for you. Just make sure you're choosing the battles that are worth it, right? And just make sure you're not denying parts of yourself anymore, right? The lesson is learned. The cup is given to us upright when we come into acceptance of ourselves, come into alignment with ourselves, the parts of us we have repressed. Then forward movement is absolutely possible. It's full speed ahead, right? Look what ended up upright. It's full speed ahead. All right. Let's get you a parting message from the Gaia Oracle book. Gaia Oracle deck, rather. Something from Spirit for you to take away until your next read. I'll see you soon. I'm excited for you. You are so close, and this is massive. Like, when you learn this kind of lesson, right? When you deal with this kind of shadow, when you get this kind of union, which right now is not quite there, but it's close. Oh my gosh, the progress we can make. Like, the wisdom we can have, right? The wisdom we can have, right? And the things we can accomplish. Unstoppable. So hard to do this. It's so hard to do this. Some people live an entire life and never get anywhere near close to where it seems like you are. It's just that last little bit. Loving what you find in the shadows. Love what you find in the shadows. You love a shadowy corner, Scorpio. Don't pretend like you don't. You love a shadowy corner. Can I get a parting message from my Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? I thought that one had to come out. Can I get one parting message from my Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? You got two. Unsurprisingly, you got two cards. And guess what it is? The Temptress, seduction, deceit, a broken promise. This is devil energy. This is attachment to something that is not helpful for you. Shadow, right? Letting the shadow win instead of letting the shadow come into alignment and acceptance, right? Don't let the shadow win. But overall, Zen Garden, inner sanctuary. Like I said, this is not about a partner. This is about you loving and accepting you, finding peace within all of the aspects of yourself coming together, right? Completing this lesson. The divine feminine and the divine masculine meeting within you, right? Let me read that. 38, breaking down to an 11, breaking down to a 2. 11 is a number of spiritual mastery as well. Zen Garden. Life is full of ups and downs, a constant ebb and flow between war and peace. Everything has a positive and negative charge. Harmony and disharmony, order and chaos, clarity and confusion, calm and conflict are all partners. In our physical world, you cannot have one without the other. Partners. Yet, like all of us, you sometimes wish that things could change. Why can't we just live in peace? Well, the answer is that peace is possible, but you can only find it from within. The first step is to accept the world as it is. Just let things be. Trust that everything happens for a reason and that there is a higher purpose to all things. Now become aware of your breath. Let it guide you to a place of peace and light, a beautiful garden within the golden chamber of your heart. It is here within your inner sanctuary that you will find the peace you seek. Peace is only possible when there is peace within our hearts. When you are able to find peace even in the midst of chaos, then you are a true master. I find solace in the sanctuary of my heart. I am the peace I seek. I am the peace I seek. I find sanctuary in my own heart. This is about you loving you. Peace. Peace, my Scorpios. Talk soon. I'm gonna go listen to this band. Bye.